So this is the first live session that we are hosting for this course in this run of design thinking. We will have multiple such live sessions wherein you can join us online and ask questions. You have already asked questions in a forum that we have included in this presentation, and we'll be addressing them one by one. Across these sessions, we will try to also give you additional information if ever required about any specific question that you come across in the assignments, any doubt that you might have, any thought that you might have while watching the videos that you want us to address or just want to put out in the open forum. We will be welcoming and addressing all of that. Now, without further ado, this is the profile of Professor Bala Ramadurai, and now there is no photo of it, but you can see him live um, here. And sir, would you like to introduce yourself to the new set of learners, or how do
Sure.
we go?
Welcome everyone to Design Thinking, and I'm glad that you've registered for the course. You've been active on the discussion forum as well as on this live session. We thank you for taking the course. Like Sukrat rightly pointed out, we are here to clarify anything that is unclear in the course, or you have certain experiences applying design thinking, either apart from this course or during the course, and you would like to share, use the forum for sure. And you can use this forum, the live sessions also. Uh, and I guess Sukrat will talk about, the further in the next live session as well later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it from my side.
Sure. So, while you are watching the videos on NPTEL or on YouTube, there is another book that has been written by Professor Ramadare. It's called Karmic Design Thinking. It has a very similar set of content related to the concepts of design thinking, as well as whatever content you see, you will be able to relate a lot while you read this book. Although not in the syllabus directly, but it is advisable that you do read this book for further information to get a better understanding of design thinking. Um, so there are a lot of questions that we have received from you. However, there will be, I think there is one person who has raised their hands. So if you want to address that right now, please let me know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's address people who have any questions here in the live session on Zoom, or if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, you can also leave a question on the YouTube chat. We're monitoring both of these so that we have you covered. Yeah, we prefer live questions because it's more interactive that way. But if there are no live questions on Zoom or on YouTube chat, then we would resort to the questions that are we have either in the discussion forum or in the questionnaire that was floated among the learners.
Yeah. If there is no one, I think somebody had. No, it's okay. We'll address you once the questions are over. We are hoping that the questions that we've received might already answer your questions. So I'll just read out the questions, sir. If you can make sense out of them and can answer them directly, please do. And then of course I'll add on to them
Sure.
afterwards. So
Dr. Hina is right here, so if we can
yeah,
ask her to sort of
sure,
narrate
sure,
us the
sure
question
thing.
itself. Dr. Hina, welcome to
Thank you,
our
sir.
live session.
Thank you so much. Sir, basically, I am a assistant professor at Dr. D.Y. Patil College at Kolhapur.
Kolhapur. Okay, okay. We're
Yes,
not far apart. I'm in Pune, so
yes,
and Sukrat
yes,
is in
sir.
Mumbai.
Yes, yes, yes. Sir, actually, I'm having 6 questions, but I will ask
Wow.
two first.
Okay,
Then we'll see if time permits. Definitely, I'll go with it.
sure.
Uh, Sir, my first question is design thinking problem statement. Okay. And another is conventional engineering problem statements. What is the distinguish between them? What is the difference between them?
Okay. So, in terms of problem statements, there needn't be any major differences, right? So, it's a problem, it's a problem. So, for me, the problem statement itself is not the differentiating factor among engineering or management or design thinking. The problem statement is what it is, right? So, I don't know, a gadget in front of me, a pen or a smartphone needs to be improved. For example, that could be a problem statement. My student is distracted is a problem statement. The garden upkeep is very poor. I need somebody to look at a garden, but I don't have any resources to spend. It's a problem statement, right? So there is no differentiation between an engineering problem statement or a design thinking problem statement or a management problem statement. Uh, what is the difference then? That's probably what your hidden question is. So the the approach in how you tackle these problems and how you lead from there is the main difference. So in a engineering slash product development mindset, we treat the product or the service. Apologies, I'm hearing a lot of noise. If you can mute yourself, that will be great. I think a couple of devices. Yeah, thank you so much. In the approach to problem solving is the main difference. In design thinking, we always start with the human being who is using the product or service. So, who is going to be the potential user of the. So, in my garden case, it is whoever upkeeps the garden, whoever uses the smartphone, whoever uses a pen, that person is our central focus. So the product, the solution, the service is all incidental. They are all liable to change. They can do, they will pivot, they will twist around. The technology may change, the solution that you, the direction you have may go 180-degree flip. We are totally open to that. But in a product mindset, that becomes a serious issue, right? Because I have invested in this particular service mindset for a really long time, or I have invested in this assembly line which makes this product for a really long time, and you're asking me to change that. That can be doing a 180 on a product line like that can be really really expensive affair. There may not be people even available to handle all of that. So there lies the big difference, right? Yes, even in a design thinking problem, when you come to that, there is, you will hit that bottleneck, right? So I am used to teaching a certain way, and my solution seems to be pointing in the 180-degree opposite. Well, how am I going to do it? That is where the analysis comes in, and you say that is a contradiction. Now I don't have the skill set, but my customer seems to need it. So how do we actually match these two? How do we solve this two becomes a problem to solve in the analysis phase, right? So that's where the difference is, but not in the problem statement per se. I hope that answers your question, ma'am.
Yes, sir. And sir, second question of mine is like now, I'm teaching project-based learning to my students of
Yeah,
BTech first year.
yeah.
So 10, 20 students are coming with their solutions,
Hmm.
and they are giving me some, giving the solutions for the problem statement.
Hmm.
So should I take it as a prototype for them, or superficially, or should I go with the means details of it, and then I have to let them continue like that?
Okay.
And
uh,
one
sure.
more thing, sir, the whole means industrial problem statement is the
Oh, wait,
real
wait.
problem statement.
Before you jump to this, I'm very forgetful. So let me finish this question because it's an important one, and I face this all the time, ma'am. You're not alone in the fact that I'm actually happy to hear that your students not only thought of a solution, they've also built a prototype. This is one of the key things that we always advise. Now, our students being very energetic and enthusiastic about the problem they're solving always start with the solve and immediately I mean, many times they stop there, but sometimes lucky that your students were actually gone ahead and made a prototype. Now, my suggestion to people who have gone ahead with this is to take the prototype to the target customer, identify customers or users, and take this prototype and ask them to use it. This way, you're starting with the first step of design thinking, which is your empathize, right? So you
Right.
take your prototype, you build something. It's not pretty, it's not super usable. It's okay, it's fine. Just take it to the user customer, make them use it, and get your feedback from that, right? That serves as problems to solve for them to improve the prototype. So don't discourage them from just because they come up with a solution. That shouldn't be a deterrent. Let them do that, that's okay. And these days there are enough tools to for them to make prototypes quickly, right? Whether it's a physical 3D product, 3D printed product, or an app or a web app, a mobile app that can be made much quicker than it used to be in the past. Or if it's a service, a quick way to sort of render the service in its rawest form, it's fine. But it shouldn't stop there. It should not be inside the classroom from then on. It should reach the user. It should reach one instance or two instances of where the user starts using their prototype and gives them feedback, either verbally or they observe and make notes saying, "Oh, I wanted them to hold this product in this way, but they're holding it the opposite way. Oh, there is a problem. I have to note this down." This becomes a very important lesson very early on for our students. So this really helps my students. I've asked them. So these energetic ones, we can't stop them. We shouldn't stop them. Let them be, but let them also take it to the next level, which is the empathy.
Right.
I hope that answers your
Sir,
question, ma'am.
yes, sir.
Yeah,
And sir, one last question.
sure, please.
Is there any treasuring book that where I can find maximum number of problem statement so
Oh.
that I can tell all my students that you can enjoy with any one of them, like
Okay.
any
Uh,
book or
sure.
anything.
Sure, sure. No, that's a valid question. Where do I find a problem bank, so to speak? Uh, so I have struggled with this also in the past. I have stopped having a question or a problem bank or a solution. Let's say problem statement bank. That's what you're after. Let the students pick up whatever they want to work on. Okay, so why? Because they take ownership in this. Now,
Hmm.
if you, ma'am, or I give the problem statement, it's our problem that they're
Our problem.
solving. So
Yes.
there is no sense of ownership in that. That's what Sukrat and I have always struggled with this. Whether do we actually uh, give them the problem statement, or should we ask them to work on it? We have always sided with the students. Let them figure out what is it that they are passionate about to work on. And I ask them to bring this up and say, hey, maybe this is something that you don't have a skill set. They take a huge problem, right? For example, that's where our skills come in and say that, hey, you have taken such a large problem statement that's not going to be solvable within the time the course is or within the next few weeks. Why don't you take a subset of this? So that becomes our main focus is, let's take a subset of this. Don't take a large city cleaning project, right? It's a huge city. You'll not be able to do it within a semester. So why don't
Right.
you take, let's say, a college, compound, premises.
Ah,
Let's start there. Let's start simple. Find that
right.
out, then get your confidence, and then move to the next problem. So
Right.
to answer your question, I don't have a problem statement bank, but
Right.
I let the students pick this up. One way to help them focus is their own skills and passion, and the second could be a theme that you could provide, saying make it sustainable, make it inclusive, such or include women entrepreneurs, for example. So some things like that you could give certain pointers, and then it becomes very exciting because they want to work with their constraints, but they also want to explore a lot on their own. Hope that
Right.
helps you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
your
so much.
questions. They were very interesting for me. Hopefully that helps you. All my response.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Over to you,
sir.
Sukrat.
Thank you, sir. I'll move on to the next question.
Please.
There are some people who want to speak and have their hands up, but we'll
Okay.
address
Okay.
one question and then we'll address them.
Yes, please.
The second question is a very broad one, and a very interesting answer can come out of it. What will we learn in this subject?
Okay, what you will definitely learn in this course is human-centered design. So, what does that mean? Is like we've been talking so far, is how do I take a product or service and think about what is the user going through? Right, that's the key uh, topic that we cover in this. Okay, so that's the starting point to, and the most important part of our subject itself. It's a key differentiator between any other problem solving methodology, any methodology that you would use in order to make a product or a product development methodology. So the key differentiator is that you always think about the human using the product or service. So you are a designer, you are a product developer, you are a service provider, but you need to consider not your perspective, but you have to consider the person who is a recipient of this service or is using the product. So that's the key learning that you have. Now, once you have that, what do you do with that, right? So once you know that, okay, now I know that my user doesn't have this, they are going through this bad experience, how can I help them? So the first part is called empathy, which where you connect to a person using the product or service. But the second part onwards is when you take action. Okay, largely if you talk about empathy and the rest of it is the action put together. This is what we call compassion. So you will learn in what an important uh, skill called compassion. Compassion is the fact that you not only know and understand and feel what your user is going through, but you are ready to take ownership on the action that follows that. So you're going to take action to make sure that the life of your user becomes better than what it used to be. So that's the second part. So we break that second part of action into three, which is analyze, which means that you will analyze what the problem is that your user is going through. Then you will generate ideas, which is solve, and then make a prototype. Make it a reality of what it is that you want to help your user with. Then you take it back again because you need to empathize again, saying, did my solution actually help my user, or is it making their life even harder? Right? That's for you to find out. Take the prototype back to the user and see if it actually helps them or not. Okay. So this is what you learn in the subject. We spent 4 weeks covering all of this. I hope that answers this person's question.
Yes, in similar lines, there is a question on the chat. What is meant by design thinking? So I think some
Yeah.
derivative of this answer can come out of that.
Right. So
Yeah.
let me explore the words design and thinking in this. Is that why is it called design thinking? Let me take that as the question. Why not something else? Why not problem solving or human centered design? Why didn't we use that? Right. It is human centered design in definition. However, design thinking came from the designer's world, right? In the design world, which is what IDEO, who coined this phrase, looked at the fact that designers use this methodology of putting themselves in the shoes of their user and generating ideas and then making a prototype and taking it back to the user. They found this, they would do it without thinking about the process, right? So what IDEO did was to pull that thinking of the designers that people had into the rest of the world, and anybody could become a designer in spirit. So the thinking part of it is what they extracted from the design world. That's why the word design thinking came into prominence. There's a IDEO coined this, I don't know, maybe in the 80s, I think.
80s. Yes.
80s, yeah, 80s. So that's the origin. If that's what your question is, that's what it is. If not, if you want to know what is design thinking, I just answered it. If you missed me saying this, then you can watch the recording where we've explained it in this live session itself. Yeah,
Great. So we have a lot of people engaging today.
sure.
So there is another question, the time-wise, with the timeline of the chat. The next question is by somebody called Suman Kapoor. So she has asked, in management, what kind of problem statement can be given?
One suggestion I have in management is to not take a huge problem. So suppose you have, I mean, I don't know if the context is a course that you're teaching or is it a company that you're working for. Let me address both of these. So if it's a course that you're teaching and there's a finite time, one of the things that I would request you to give, if you're giving us as a management problem, is make sure that it feels it is not a large problem that cannot be solved within the confined time that you have, right, in the course. So give that. So it's going to be an art for you to find a problem that is large enough that they don't just stop with one solution and one user, but they can go on, iterate it, and make it better throughout the time of the course. But it shouldn't be so large that they're overwhelmed and there's no way they can make a prototype and even test it in the field. So your job is going to give us a management problem, HR, operations, marketing, finance, whatever. Make sure that the problem is well within the time of the course and the I would say the extent of the problem itself, that is large enough that it fills up. It has many more solutions than just one, and not so large that it will take them, I don't know, easily a year or so to just understand what the problem is. So that's going to be your game in here. Now, for the corporate setting or a company setting where you want to take up some management problem to solve, I would say take something that you are skilled at. So you're the practitioner here. Take something that you have the skills to solve a problem, right? So that's first thing. So if you're a HR person, I would request you to take an HR problem, right? Human resources problem. And if you're a marketing person, you take a marketing. You're a finance, take a finance, and so on and so forth, right? So first of all, you need to have the skills to solve the problem. Second is, are you passionate to solve the problem, right? If you're saying that nobody seems to be even focusing on this problem, I'm going to take this up and solve it. Because once the novelty of the problem just dies down, only passion can keep this going, right? So you're solving it because you want it solved. So that passion of seeing that this problem needs to be solved will keep you going in, even when the chips are down, when you're not getting ideas. All of this, the passion reappears, and you start working on it. Okay. So, and the third suggestion would be to find people who are actually going to be your users. Now, if you are, you're targeting, let's say, you're in the city and you have rural customers, then and you don't have access to them, then there's no point giving a management problem with that kind of market or clientele. Or if you're in a tier two or a tier three city, or your real customers are in tier one cities, then you have a serious issue because you don't have access to those customers. So make sure that these are some tips, pointers in identifying a problem statement that you can work within the confines of this. Hopefully that helped you.
Right. I think someone is here. But yeah, cool. Thank you so much, sir, about for that answer.
Mhm.
We have more questions coming in on the chat, but if we address the next one, I believe a lot of them will get answered.
Okay.
There are questions about exams, so I would like
Okay.
to intervene and tell the learners that right now we are not going to address the exam related questions per se. We have a specific separate live session just to address the exam prep, exam format, and other things around it. So for now, since it's the first one, we'll focus on the content, the idea of design thinking, and the first couple of weeks, and then we might be able to touch upon the exam related thing. We'll have a whole separate dedicated live session
Yeah.
for that.
And that is on September 11th at 5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Indian Standard Time. So we will have like Sukrat said, we'll have a dedicated session only for exams and preparation of exams. So this is what we will help you with.
So right now, the next question that we have here is by show the name. How can a beginner effectively apply design thinking to solve real-world problems in AI, software development, and everyday life? Could you also share a simple project example that follows all five stages of design thinking process? Now, before you answer that, there are
I know
more
what you're going to
questions.
say.
There are more questions. One related thread is in the first lecture you had mentioned iteration, but once the course commenced, you didn't pay attention to this word and always highlighted east.
Hmm.
When exactly do we use the iteration step?
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. We can address all of that here in this, Sukha. Thanks. So, first of all, let me start with the second part of the, particularly the five stages that has mentioned, and what Sukrat also mentioned as EAST, EAST. So, in our methodology here, which is the Buddhism-inspired, four stages that we have of design thinking, we use only four stages. It's empathize, which is the E, analyze for the A, solve for generating ideas, and T is the test. Solve is S, and T is test. So EAST is what we use. These are four stages that we use to solve human-centered design problems, or rather, take problems and solve it in the human-centric way, using the four stages that we use. Now, why not five stages that IDEO and all of them use? Why are you using a different one in your course? Well, it turns out that they're very similar in spirit, right? So, in the IDEO method, it's empathize, which we have empathize as. Analysis becomes ideate. I know analysis becomes defined there, which is the second stage. Uh, Ideate is the third stage in the IDEO method. We have solve. Prototype and test is clubbed under test, right? The in our method. Now, when are we going to introduce iterations, and why isn't it covered in the course? We do iteration at the end of test. It's actually included in the test because we need to make a prototype and take it to the user in order to test the prototype. So that becomes the second start of the second iteration. So it sort of test actually implies many things. One is you make a prototype, you test it yourself and test it with an audience, and that becomes empathize cycle 2. So sort of inbuilt into the whole test methodology itself, the test step itself at the end. So one of the reasons why we don't explicitly talk about it in the course is that, right? And I agree, maybe I should introduce a video at the end as to how you can iterate, also give some tips about that. I will definitely do that in the subsequent weeks. So maybe perhaps record a video and post it along with this. However, now that you know the four stages, you can go ahead and do this. Okay. Now, an example, let me go back to the first part of the question again. How can a beginner effectively apply design thinking to solve real world problems in AI, software development, and everyday life? Those are three domains, where two to be precise. What you need to do, and this I talked about it in the first part of this core, the live session also, is that first of all, take a problem that you are willing to solve for somebody around you, right? It could be a colleague, it could be a family person, a loved one, anybody, just or some kids playing in the backyard. Whatever be the situation, take something that you feel that you really want to solve it, right? So you feel the desire to solve that, so take that as the first step. So any beginner who's starting with design thinking, one of the first steps is to observe around you who, according to you, you can help, not somebody else. Now you can't say, oh, somebody should help them. No, that's not design thinking, that's just hope. Right? It's wishful thinking, not design thinking. So design thinking is about taking ownership of everything that you want to see happen, right? Change is something that you want to see. Start with yourself, right? So we do that. So that's the first thing, observation, to see who needs the help, and you should be the one who's going to make that change happen, right? So that's the first step. Then pay close attention to how they're going about this. So you think, let's say in my standard example that I use, and this could also serve as a answer to the second one, is uh, I about 8 9 years ago I observed that many children were hooked onto their mobile devices, and they rarely went outside to play. So this is just one observation. I felt that, come on, I should do something about it, right? So the first thing I did was observe children who spend a lot of time on their devices. I talked to my friends' kids, I talked to neighbors' kids, I observed many other, and then I wrote in a colleague of mine who also did the same thing in his city, and we together constructed what is a customer journey map, right? So we built a fictitious persona called Akanksha, 10 years old, who would go through a journey. So first we documented that. So that's where I would start. Document her journey as to what does she do after coming home from school. Does she do her homework and then start playing on the device, or does she straight away jump with the device? What does she do during playing the device? And then after she's done playing with the game, what does she do? I noted down based on many observations over many children, right? With their consent or with their parents' consent, of course, right? Then I realized there are few problems that I thought the only problem was that they were on the device for a long time. Turns out they never went outside to play. They rarely paid attention to what they ate, and blah blah blah. Right. So there are 4 or 5 problems at least that I could notice. And I asked my colleague. He also came up with his own list of 4 or 5 problems. Put that all together in a long list. So this is the end of empathy. Second, we start with analysis. So, why does this really happen? I started applying the multi why, and I found out the root cause to that. Right, the root cause turned out to be that they have absolutely no parental control when choosing and installing the app. That's what we found out was the trigger point of their quote unquote addiction to a particular game. So that's what we realized is where we need to solve the problem. Right. And both of us were in software, we'd spent some time in the software industry. So we had some know-how as to how what that actually leads to that. So that was our skill, and that was what we observed. So that was the analysis part. The conflict was that the parent wants to control what the child wants to install, but the child doesn't want that, right? The child wants some freedom to discover by herself what is the game that she should play. That's what she wanted to do. So that was a conflict that we took as the next step. So that is the next step for ideation. We came up with a lot of ideas. We said we'll lock the objective of the game. We will have a pass key that they need in order to install an app, and physical store and all of that. We came up with all sorts of fancy ideas. Now, fancy ideas is good, but as long as you can make a prototype of it. So we made a very smallish prototype around the installation alone, and that's where we stopped. We shouldn't have. We found other things to do, but you need to take that back to a customer, which is your kid in this case, or a neighbor's kid, and ask them to use it. They're frustrated by it. You know that there are frustration that needs to be solved. Parents are happy, but the child is not, or the child is happy, the parents are not. You need to start working on this. So this sort of gets you warmed up to the idea of a very very efficient and a systematic process which takes you to a nice and well thought of solution. So it's not a flash in the pan, the idea of the solution, but a well thought of, well structured way to think about this. Even when you get lost, you know what the next step is, right? If you are stuck in problem analysis, you know that you need idea generation in the next stage. If you only have ideas and you don't know what to do next, you need to build a prototype. So there's that. So that's what helps you in figuring out how to go ahead with the problem solving process, or how do you go from one to another. Hopefully that will help you, Aditya, in figuring out your design thinking journey.
Awesome. Um, okay, I'll jump on to the next question then.
Please. Yes.
Are there classes enough to prepare for exams? We will have a live session, as I mentioned,
September 11, 5:30 p.m.
September 11, 5:30 p.m. Does this course still make sense even though it was made 10 years ago? There is such a gap between then and now. It's hard to understand what they want to convey to us. Plus, there are more relevant questions around this question.
Okay.
Um, if the questions was, so there are very industry specific questions that they have put forth about design thinking framework being affected in infrastructure projects, in patents, in product orientations. Yeah, this was the question by Sarvesh. How do you see the future scope of design thinking in the next 5 to 10 years, especially with the rapid growth of AI and automation?
Got it. Okay. So, superb. It is not 10 years ago, it is 8 years ago. But anyway, I will approximate it to 10 years. In fact, I'm not even concerned that it's 10 years. This course and the underlying methodology is not just 10 years old. It's 2200 years, 2500 years old, right? So it's really, really old methodology. And so I don't think it has lost its meaning after 2500 years. I can safely bet it can last another 2500 years, 2500 years as well. Why am I making such a super duper claim? I think it's very close to how humans think and how humans operate, right? So if you look around us, I was just in a workshop the other day, last 2 weeks ago, and I was just looking around, and I was thinking, how many scores of people have come together to make my classroom session in this company effective, right? If we look above, there are light panels. So somebody made the light devices. Somebody knew how to install it. Somebody knew where to fit in the air conditioning. Somebody knew where to how to make a TV, a monitor. How do you connect it to a projector? How do you have a projector? How do you have a sound system? How do you build those chairs in between? How do you use those resources there? How do you bring in the customer? So there's not just one or two people who are at play here. There are scores of people and people who care about each other, right? If you think about it, the TV person thought, how do I make sure that the person who uses it doesn't need me to be there, right? There was no person from Samsung who was helping me operate this TV, or a person from Philips who came and told me how to turn on a light. And nobody was there. They made sure that the products were easy to use. They didn't need anybody around, and they are still working. They're trying to make it even better for you, right? So this is what we have done over thousands of years. So, and that's not going away just because a new technology has come or a new way of making a product has come. That care that we have for each other outdates every piece of technology that we have. So that's the premise. So it's not going to get outdated anytime soon. The empathy, the care that we have, it's not going to go away anytime soon. That's the underlying fabric that we have built ourselves around, right? Anything you take, right? Teaching in a company, in a classroom was one example I gave. But look around yourself and see how many scores of people have come together in order to make your life comfortable, right? Putting you in the center. How many people have been and are still working to make your life better, right? The fact that what you're talking about, the AI models getting better and better over time, or doing cooler and cooler things over time, actually tells you that they care about you and how you use the AI model, right? So uh, that's what we've built over centuries, over millennia. So that's not going away anytime soon. So if it is a gap in understanding this, we take that as a feedback and we'll try to see how to update that. But in terms of methodology, that's not going away anytime soon. You can wait a few more millennia, it will still be there. That's what I have to say.
The best thing about this question that I find is that Sarvesh has written how do you see the future scope of design thinking in next 5 to 10 years, especially with the rapid growth of AI and automation? Now, if you break that question down, you will see that in itself, AI and automation is going through iterations, right? If
Thank
there is
you. Yeah.
technology, growth of technology, we had like landlines and whatnot. We've shifted to iPhones. iPhone itself went from iPhone 1 to iPhone, I think 17, 18 now.
17 or 18 or
So there are
whatever.
so many iterations and improvements happening over every year because they are looking into human behavior, they're looking into whatever new technology can be incorporated, and then making another iteration for us to use and probably go gaga over. So
Brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant.
True, true. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have this 3.0, 3.4 or whatever is coming out, and
Now
then
it's
next
Hello,
five.
I am Sujit.
Hi Sujit,
Hi, Sujit.
tell me.
Hi, Sujit, you have a question? Ah, okay. Yeah,
He
he
just
had
wanted to
his
say
mic turned on
Sujit.
by mistake. Yeah.
Can you tell us clearly about this course? I think we've covered this
Hello, sir.
question.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Hello.
tell me.
Sorry for inconvenience. Hi,
Yeah,
sir. This side Sarvesh. Sir, I
Hi,
have one more
Sarvesh.
question. Hello.
please
Hello, sir.
ask.
Sir, I have one more question.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
That you explained previously about AI and automation. That's quite nice. I feel
Yeah.
very comfortable after that.
Okay.
Sir, one question after that is if a student want a secure and if students want to secure an internship in design thinking, what practical steps would you recommend starting from today if I follow this course, and what are the other courses that I follow for design thinking?
Okay. Answer straight away is do well in the examination, and if you're one of the elite or whatever is the highest one, and you're a student, we offer internships as design thinking as an incentive to students who do well in our course. So that is your answer straight away. If you want internships, do well in this course. If you're the top elite, so work hard, follow the course videos very well, answer, do well in your exam, and we will get you an internship as you desire. So that's, and the internship is definitely based on design thinking in my organization, my startup, or in some startups and organizations that I trust also use design thinking very well to the core. We will connect you to them, and under my mentorship you can do your internship for sure. We offer this as part of the NPTEL internship program that we have, and we have been offering it, I don't know, for the past 5 years, I think, so far. Now we've had interns. Sukrat is also very active member in the internship team that we have. He loves doing this as well.
So so,
That's
not that much.
great, sir.
Okay,
That's nice,
Sarvesh.
sir. Yes,
All
sir,
the best
that's
for
nice.
that.
Sir, so it's a promise from your side. If I get a gold medalist on your course, it's
Yeah,
a promise.
of
Uh,
course. Yes, of course.
Sir, tell
It
me
is a
about your,
promise.
yeah, sir, I have to, sir, I like your videos very much. How did you create different from another professors that I watch in NPTEL lectures? That's quite nice. I feel very comfortable while talking to you, and
Okay.
it's nice
Thank
that
you.
you
Thank you
can,
for your kind words.
yes, sir. Sir, tell me about your startup because I want to know about that. So,
Okay. All right. Very, very quick. I'll take only a minute to explain what my startup does, because that's not the point of this live session. I just mentioned it because it's the internship that you mentioned. My startup is helps clients, companies in innovating with confidence. It's called Spirelia. I'll leave it in the chat. You can look it up. Spirelia is dedicated to building AI tools which will help with the processes of innovation and technology forecasting. So that's in a minute's sort of summary or an elevator pitch of what my company really does. Okay, so here you go. I'm just entering the website of my company. Okay. All right. Thanks, Sarvesh.
Thank you.
Yes, let's go.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next question that we have now is, can you please explain the 5 why and conflict techniques with the help of another example?
Okay. Actually, on YouTube, I'm going to refer to a YouTube example which does a way better job than I do. Is a case on Jefferson Memorial. Okay, Jefferson Memorial is a monument in the U.S. Capital of the United States, which is Washington D.C. They have a memorial dedicated to Jefferson, and that monument started crumbling, okay, at some point of time. So just look it up. It's a fantastic explanation of the 5 whys or multi-why technique, as we call it. It's a very cool video, and there's a nice ending to the also. So go on YouTube, look up Jefferson Monument 5 whys. So you will see this. Um, that's a very cool example. They finally figure out that it's actually a very simple thing that they had to do instead of fixing the structure and all of that, which would have been our natural way if we hadn't applied the 5 whys. Conflicts, I think we have enough examples in our course itself. However, I can what example do I give? Okay, so let's take electric vehicles, right? So electric vehicles, you've seen many in your neighborhood, have this current problem, that it is, it goes only for a range of, let's say, 100 kilometers, right? So 100 kilometers is what you get in one charge. I'm talking about a two-wheeler. 100 kilometers maximum, very good. That's a good charge. However, let's say I'm not, as a user, I'm just putting up with it that it's 100 kilometers. I need it to be at least 200 kilometers so that I can charge it not once in 2 or 3 days, but I would charge it more only or during the weekends when I'm available. Otherwise, it takes a lot of time to charge, and so I need 200 kilometers at least. Let's say that's the user need. So one of the things you can do in order to make it go 200 is to double the size of the battery, right? So if you have it as one battery and it lasts for 100, I'm going to put another battery. Cool, easy fix, right? 200 kilometers. However, now with this added battery, it increases the weight of the
Enter vehicle.
I'm sorry. I had a distraction, an alert. So it's going to increase the weight of my two-wheeler, right? So what it does is, if it increases the weight, it also increases the braking distance. So it's not easy to. So if you have a larger vehicle, it's very difficult to stop the vehicle in time, right? So safety becomes an issue. So I've doubled the so while I have increased the weight, the range of the vehicle goes up, but my braking distance reduces. I'm sorry, increases. Braking distance increases. So that's a problem because I can't stop it within time. Suppose there is a thing that I don't want to hit. I normally would have been able to stop with the previous weight, but now because of the added weight, I am not able to stop within time. So this is a conflict, that now I need my longer range of my vehicle, but I also need my shorter braking distance. So this is how I define a conflict. Okay. So hopefully this example is accessible enough that you can understand how to define conflicts. And we use the ENV model to look at both sides. Flip the thing, saying, okay, increase the weight, this happens. If I decrease the weight, this happens. So that's what you would do using an ENV model. You can
Yeah,
follow that and build the rest of the conflict based on what I told you. So that's my examples for 5 whys and conflict.
yeah. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, can you just write down that Jefferson in the chat box?
Surely. In
It,
fact, I'll do you one better. I will, in fact, share the address URL itself so that you can
yes, sir.
look it up. It's one of my favorite videos, so you can definitely.
Yeah.
Manish has shared it already. So
Oh, okay. That's the power of network we have. Superb. So you can already see
Yeah.
Manish's video right there.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Manish, for sharing that. And that's his
so
question also. How cool is that?
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
it's another fan for you, but it's mostly related to the exam. So I'm going to skip this question. But thank you, Manish. I believe he is on the call also.
Okay.
We
Thanks,
will
Manish, for your
we
question.
will we
We
will
will
address
answer
this.
this. Sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Please. We will address this in the third session on 11th September. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll remember this. Um, okay, the next question is.
And thank you for the kind words, Manish. This is a team effort.
If
I don't take all
Gurveen
the
is on
credit.
this call, I will personally reply to this. This is related to assignment 3. I'm not sure what
I'm on
exact.
call.
Oh, you are okay.
There she
Good,
is. Okay.
brilliant. So, Gurveen, can you write to me separately? I will address this question for you. And
Um, you want
yeah,
me to send a direct message, you
Or
mean?
if
you
you
can
leave
do
it in
that.
the
You can do
forum
that.
so that because other learners may also have the same problem, so
Yeah,
they will
many
also
people
benefit.
have written that in the forum. Uh,
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Either I think there's a missing video or there's some glitch in the assignment because there were a few questions on Navy and experiment, which context we didn't have.
Oh, okay. It should be there. This is probably the
The rusting video.
Humphrey
Yeah,
Davy one, right? So I'm surprised that video is missing. We'll find that out. If it's
we'll
not
check it
there,
out. Yeah.
Yes,
we'll
please.
bring it up.
Could you do it before the deadline of the assignment?
We'll have to work with the NPTEL team. Why? Sure, sure.
Can
Sukrat,
do that. Yeah, I'll do
Thank
that.
you.
Noted.
yeah. Thanks, Gurmeet, for bringing it up.
How do we know when a problem is actually a design problem rather than a technical or a management problem?
Okay. Well, uh, there is like I think we started the live session with this similar question, which is what sort of problem statement falls under design or technical or management, and which one do we actually apply design thinking to? So, design thinking is agnostic to what kind of a problem it is. So we don't differentiate between a design problem, a technical problem, or a management problem, or a political problem. So for us, it is a problem that a human being is going through, right? So what, from their point of view, what is it that they are undergoing? What does their journey look like? And so we look at that aspect of it. So we definitely do not identify or classify a problem based on who the user is. For us, the user is important, period, right? So the user is going through, let's say, a design problem, or is going through a technical problem, or is it a management problem? For us, that's all is why we pay attention to what kind of a problem it is. After that, we treat them the exact same way, right? Because the process does not change with the type of problem. So, what is it? What is the problem from the user's perspective? Then we apply our analytical skills. Then we use our creativity. Then we use hands-on to create a prototype, right? So here there is no. It is industry agnostic, as they say. It is industry. I mean, we don't care which industry it comes from. It is problem agnostic. So this is what we look beyond that. We only look at it is a guide of sorts. Design thinking is not a magical bullet that you buy, a silver bullet that you just bite through and it voila, you get a solution. No, you have to still do the thinking. You have to do the heavy lifting. You have to go. Observe your users. You have to do this. You have to. It's all on you, the design thinker, right? So it's not about the problem, it's not about the user, it's not about the solution. It's about you taking this on and taking ownership and moving forward. So that's why we pay very less attention to the classification of the problem and more on what do we do with this problem. That is for us more important. The how part is the key in this.
Thank you,
Hopefully
sir.
that answers your question, Aditya.
So the next question is, in the classroom problem on taking notes, was
Okay.
this problem first reported by school students, or is it just an example to illustrate design thinking? In the classroom, what matters is the teacher creating interest in students for learning, not note taking.
Okay. Dr.
மியூட்ல
Vinay,
தானே
thank you
இருக்கு,
so much.
அன்மியூட்ல இருக்கு, அன்மியூட்ல இருக்குங்களா? மியூட்ல தானே இருக்கு. அவளுக்கு
Okay.
ஆன்லைன்
Go
Thanks.
on.
Yeah, so Dr. Vinay, thank you so much for the question. The problem that you saw in the video of in the problem that you saw in the video, Siddharth and team, dealing with this note taking. I think that's what you're referring to. It was a genuine observation in a classroom. It was done for school students. We couldn't record it in classrooms in schools because we did not get the permission for that. So that's one of the things we couldn't do. However, the problem is genuine. It is real. We did go do some real observations. Siddharth and team did go to different schools and note down what the problem is. We simulated that with my own students from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management in Pune, and we interviewed and we got a lot of problems that about note taking and note sharing. Yes, from a teacher's point of view, what you're saying is absolutely right, that teachers have to create interest in students. However, our brain is not enough capacity to hold all this information. It's not a great device to hold information either. I'm not saying this. I follow these productivity gurus and psychologists and psychiatrists who swear that our brain, particularly what we call the prefrontal cortex, is not great for holding ideas. It's great for generating them, but not for holding ideas. So, note taking is one of the best ways to actually externalize your thinking. So, in fact, there's a lot of analysis and research that Siddharth and Supra and all of those guys did on how handwriting can actually help you analyze a problem way better. So one of the things that they latched on to was, how do we make students take handwritten notes rather than typewritten notes? So they were big into note taking and handwritten notes. So that's why they went on to researching on how students do notes, how do they take notes, how do they share notes. It's a big deal among the student community. So one of the things I learned in interacting with students via Siddharth and Co is the fact that students pay a lot of attention to notes and who takes the notes in what way. There are certain students whose notes are sought after, right? So that's one thing we found out. So sure, what you're saying makes sense from a teacher point of view, but from a student point of view, note taking is valuable and is golden. And it was an example to illustrate design thinking. However, it was a real problem that we took up and we solved it via the course itself.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So the next question now we have.
Just process check. We are at 6:30. You want to
Okay,
take one more question?
sure. So I will stop sharing at this point. Screen sharing
Okay.
has been stopped. Okay. There are questions in the chat box. I will pick a couple of them. Um,
So while Sukrat is picking the question to bring it up here, our promise to you is that we will answer all the questions that have been posed here, either here in the chat or in the discussion forum or the questionnaire that you filled out. We will definitely address all of them. That's our promise, like what we call customer support warranty, so to speak. So we'll definitely address them. We will answer them. Maybe because of shortage of time, we won't be able to do it during the live session, but we will definitely address all of them. If time permits, we will take some of them during the next live session also, which is on September 11th. Although that is focused on exams, that's our first priority. We'll take up all exam-related questions during the September 11 5:30 p.m. Live session for sure. So, Sukrat, in the meantime, were you able to pick out some questions?
They are very specific industry or their personal use case related questions.
Okay.
So there is one that I find really interesting actually. It is a reverse problem statement question,
Okay.
which is by Akanksha.
Okay.
And that says, "Hello, sir. My team and I decided to build an autonomous go-kart as a final year project just because we wanted to learn how to build it. Now our professors are asking, what problem are we solving? So how can I find problems which can be solved using our product using design thinking? Is it
Sorry, can you repeat it? I missed the first
Sure,
part of your
sure, sure.
question.
So they have built an autonomous go-kart as
Okay.
a final year project,
Okay.
and because they were curious how to build it, to learn how to build it. Now their
Okay.
professor is asking, what problem are we solving? So how can I find problems which can be solved using our product using design thinking?
Excellent. Okay. So
It's a
yeah.
curveball
So
question.
sorry. Yeah.
So
Curveball
very
question. Yes. No. Excellent. The cart before the horse, as they call it, right? So in design thinking, we almost always start with the human being. So I won't give you the answer as to what the go kart actually solves, but it is for you to find out who using a go-kart can you make their life better. If you use this automated go-kart, whose life can you make better and you feel the strong urge to help them with? Answer this question. Whatever is the answer is going to be your start of your design thinking project, because right now you are curious how to make it. Great, kudos to you. I mean, not many people start here building tools, building stuff. Great, you have that skill now. Now once you've done that, can you now go ahead and see whose life can I make better? It could be kids who want to have fun. It could be a person who is trying to find their way around, and this their automated cart can guide them into a city that they don't know much about. It could be a person who can't see very well, and this sort of like a seeing eye dog, you build a seeing eye cart, right? So it could be many of these, but whom do you feel the strongest connect to is what where the start of your design thinking project will be. Once you do that, then you have the a methodology to help you with empathize, analyze, solve, and test in order to make your prototype absolutely addressing that one customer segment that you picked up. Then your professor definitely be happy, because now you not only thought you made a good product, you also made it for somebody, and you're in the process of improving on a continual basis. So this is what is the prize at the end of it for you. Hopefully that helps you. A very nice question, and this is a common question. I mean, common situation that people find themselves in. Okay, so I guess
Thank
we
you,
are.
sir, for this answer. And
Oh,
happily, we are doing like we are testing our solution with design thinking process by your course.
beautiful.
And thank you so much for that, sir.
Okay, where are you from, Akansha?
I'm from Nashik,
Nashik. Which school or college is this?
uh, Kekiwag Engineering College.
Engineering
Kekiwag
college.
Engineering. Yes.
Okay, cool. Nice meeting you over the internet. Good luck with taking this project ahead and making it useful for somebody.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, Sukrat, I guess we can
yes.
call it a day.
Yes, so I've collected the questions that were in the chat. Specifically, they were
Thanks. Thank you
around
so much for doing that.
accounts and patent and somebody
Sure,
from
sure.
all
They
of them.
sound very
So
interesting.
well, maybe like compile all of them and we'll answer them in one go.
Yeah.
But for now, I think we can safely disconnect. And
Safely. Okay.
yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
And it was very nice that a lot of the learners who have posted questions are actually available on the call today. We were
Yeah,
lucky
yeah,
enough for
that is
that.
amazing. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Thank you so
Sir,
much for
sir,
spending your time
hello,
here.
hello,
And
sir.
yes,
Next time, just we will have one reverse design thinking then.
what is reverse design thinking? I'm not sure. What do you mean by
Akanksha's
that?
answer. Akanksha's
Uh-huh.
answer from prototype to problem statement.
Prototype to problem statement. Done. Let's do that. Yes,
Right, sir.
absolutely.
Okay.
So for people who want to reach out to us, you can use the discussion forum, or you can find me on the internet. I have my email address published, so you can always reach out to me. Or I'm on LinkedIn. Sukrat is on LinkedIn. You can reach us out via LinkedIn as well. We are very happy to discuss design thinking projects for your college, for your companies, for your startups. We are very eager to address and help you in any which way we can. So this is our promise to you that we will definitely help you out. So please feel free to reach out for this course. Use the discussion forum, and we would love to answer all your queries, any suggestions you have, anything that you want to share. Please do so. It'll not only help us, it'll help others as well. Okay. All the best. If you're taking the exam, see you on September 11th. Otherwise, have fun with the course and keep interacting with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Sukrat, and
Thank you,
thanks,
sir.
NPTEL team, for
Thank you,
making
sir.
this
Thank you,
happen.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
Thank you, sir.
sir.
you.
Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you very
Thank
much,
you.
sir. Have a great
Yes.
day.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Bye.